Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the great perfection of wisdom, demystifying the Bodhisattva's path. We're going to unpack these profound and, honestly, kind of magical metaphors from ancient Buddhist philosophy and figure out the actual psychological engine driving the whole thing. So, let's just tackle this massive question right out of the gate. The source material talks about these incredible, almost superhero like feats of an awakened being, a bodhisattva. We're talking cosmic level stuff here, illuminating the entire universe, instantly healing the sick, totally transforming reality. Now, it's really easy to just dismiss this as pure myth, right? But the text doesn't actually frame these as random magic tricks. It treats them as totally logical outcomes. And, whenever the text brings up one of these mind-blowing feats, it always circles right back to this one profound answer. It absolutely insists, if you wish to accomplish this, you must learn the Prajnaparamita. Now that translates to the perfection of wisdom. But to really grasp why this is the master key to the whole shebang, we've got to look a bit closer at the actual miracles it powers. Okay, so the text describes these inconceivable vows. Bodhisattvas emitting this brilliant light into the absolute darkest realms, curing the blind, literally emptying out the realms of hell. I mean, on the surface, yeah, it sounds like literal magic. But the authors of this text are incredibly methodical. They aren't just writing nice poetry here. They're laying out a highly structured system. And what's so fascinating about this is that this radiant light, it's not just some random superpower they lucked into. According to the text, it's the strict karmic result of very specific, deeply compassionate actions built up over countless lifetimes. We're talking about physically offering lamps in dark places, maintaining a purely compassionate mind, speaking with absolute purity. Literally every miraculous effect has a very grounded, highly intentional cause behind it. To truly wrap our heads around this, we have to define the real engine of the entire text: karmic causes and conditions. In this philosophical framework, miraculous results are never, and I mean never, accidental. They're the product of a precise formula where an internal seed meets an external action. So the Bodhisattva doesn't just wave a magic wand. Instead, they operate within this rigorous, unbending law of cause and effect. Let's break down how this actually looks in practice. Step 1 is the internal cause, meaning even in the absolute depths of suffering, a being has to have a dormant seed of readiness inside them. Step 2 is the external condition. That's the bodhisattva providing the light or the teaching to spark that seed. And finally, step 3 is the result, awakening. Think of it like rain falling on a buried seed. The bodhisattva just provides the right condition so the being can essentially awaken themselves. So the real takeaway here is that to genuinely liberate anyone, the bodhisattva has to target the actual root of the problem. And the text identifies these as the 3 poisons: greed, anger, and ignorance. These right here are the fundamental psychological causes of worldly suffering. All those massive cosmic interventions, they're really just tools designed to help beings extinguish these exact 3 poisons in their own minds. All right, so having looked at the mechanics of those vows, let's shift gears and explore how a fully awakened being physically interacts with the world. The text describes the bearing of a Buddha with this incredible visual grandeur. It's not just about their state of mind, but how they actually exist in physical space, using these wild metaphors like the gaze of the Elephant King and the diamond throne. This majesty of the awakened one includes things like turning their entire body all at once to look at someone, much like a majestic Elephant King. Their feet are said to glide exactly 4 fingers above the earth, and wherever they rest becomes unbreakable diamond. But here's the thing, these poetic descriptions aren't just stylistic flair. They actually represent a mind that is completely unified, undivided, and supremely focused. But reading through this, you've got to wonder something highly specific. Why wouldn't a fully awakened being with limitless power just walk normally on the dirt like the rest of us? Or, hey, why not just fly everywhere? Why exactly 4 fingers above the ground? Well, the ancient text anticipates this exact question, and it gives us a surprisingly practical, deeply psychological answer. It turns out it's literally all about crowd control and human psychology. Think about it. If a Buddha were to just fly around constantly, ordinary humans would see them as this alien spirit they couldn't relate to at all. But if they trudged right through the mud, people might not recognize their profound state and, well, they'd fail to generate any reverence. So, hovering just a few inches above the ground, it's the perfect middle path. It perfectly balances awe-inspiring majesty with a relatable physical presence.
Next, the text shifts to make another pretty astounding claim, one that scholars have debated for centuries. It claims that simply hearing a Buddha's name, even across vast, unimaginable stretches of space and time, can guarantee ultimate enlightenment. Now, for the focus learner, this sounds suspiciously like a loophole, right? Can a mere sound truly rewrite someone's entire karmic destiny?
But wait, hold on. This isn't some magical cheat code. The text explicitly clears this up by comparing hearing the name with actually practicing the path. Hearing the name is merely the catalyst. It sparks that initial joy and waters that internal seed we talked about earlier. But it absolutely has to be followed by action. You have to be inspired by it and then go out and actively cultivate the path to actually achieve liberation. And this is brilliantly illustrated by one of my absolute favorite analogies from the source material. It compares this process to a ripe fruit that only needs the gentlest breeze to finally fall from the branch. Some individuals have spent so long cultivating their minds that they are essentially spiritually ripe. For them, simply hearing the name is that gentle breeze. It's just the final condition needed to push them into full realization. Okay, so we have seen the incredible toolkit of a bodhisattva, right? The radiant light, the physical majesty, the crazy power of their mere name. But let's finally reveal why the text insists, time and time again, on one overarching requirement to make all these tools actually work. Because without this master key, all that compassion, it just falls completely flat. And that brings us to the grand reveal. The source boldly states, Prajnaparamita is the mother of all Buddhas. The perfection of wisdom, which is the unclouded understanding of reality exactly as it is the mother that gives birth to and fiercely protects every single miraculous capability. But what does it actually mean to say that wisdom protects compassion? To explain this, the ancient authors used these amazing, super visceral metaphors. They said, performing good deeds or charity without ultimate wisdom is literally like pouring water into an unbaked clay pot. It just dissolves right back into mud. Or it's like a blind person trying to run a race. You're just stumbling in the dark. But when those exact same good deeds are backed by ultimate wisdom, they become like a solid, fire-baked pot that holds water securely. You become a person with clear eyes who can finally see the path ahead. The text offers us one more really beautiful visual for this. The first 5 perfections of a bodhisattva, things like immense charity and unbreakable discipline, those are fantastic. But without the perfection of wisdom, they're grounded. They are like this magnificently colored bird that just doesn't have any wings. It's prajna, that ultimate understanding of reality that provides the wings, allowing all that compassion to finally take flight and cross all boundaries. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. We've decoded these ancient metaphors to see that true power isn't about literal magic. It's the perfect union of compassionate action and profound wisdom. If ultimate wisdom really is the mother of all good deeds, how can you apply deeper awareness to elevate your own daily actions? How can you fire-bake your fragile clay pots into something unbreakable? And ultimately, what wings will you attach to your actions today?